Right, let's talk about something every parent, every teacher knows all too well: childhood conflict. You know, those sudden, intense squabbles that just seem to blow up out of nowhere. But what if I told you that under all that chaos, there's actually a system, a predictable one? Let's pull back the curtain and really see what's going on behind the meltdown.
I mean, it's the classic scene, right? Two kids are playing beautifully one minute, and the next, it's a total disaster. It's so frustrating, and it feels completely random. You're just left standing there wondering, what on earth just happened? Well, the source material we're digging into today argues that these blowups aren't random at all. Nope. Instead, they're driven by some really predictable patterns in how kids communicate. And here's the kicker. It all depends on the invisible world each child is mentally living in at that exact moment.
So, to get a handle on the conflict, we first have to understand the world the child is in. And this research breaks it all down into three distinct states. A fight almost always kicks off when two children, playing side by side, are actually operating in two totally different worlds. Okay, first up, you've got the state of playing. Now, this isn't just kids messing around. It's really a state of shared discovery. Just picture it. Two kids are building with blocks. One plops down a block and goes, "This is a castle." The other one jumps right in and adds another, saying, "Cool, and here's the moat." See what's happening? The creation is just evolving, organically. Neither of them had a master plan for a castle with a moat when they started. And the social resource they're tapping into here, it's pure joy. It's connection. Next, we have the working state. This one is all about the mission. So using our block example again, this is when the two kids decide beforehand, hey, let's build a castle. Every single move they make is guided by that shared goal they already agreed on. They're working together to bring an idea from inside their heads out into the real world. The social resource here is wisdom. They're learning how to actually make a plan and see it through. And finally, there's the state of fighting. This is exactly what happens when one kid's design gets forced onto the other. You know, one says, "We will build a tower," and the other fires back, "No, the moat has to be first." And progress grinds to a halt. It's not about working together anymore. It's not about discovery. It's just a raw battle of wills. And the social resource they're fighting over? Yep, it's power. Okay, so we've got these three states: playing, working, fighting. But why do kids flip between them so fast? To get that, we have to pop the hood and look at the basic mechanics of how we all process and express information. And it really boils down to two channels. Think of it like this. The inner channel is everything coming in, our thoughts, our feelings, how we see things. And the outer channel is everything going out, our words, our actions, our behaviors. Every single interaction we have is a kind of dance between these two channels. This analogy of a car and a train is just perfect for this. A child's focus is always shifting back and forth between their inner world of thoughts and their outer world of actions. A conflict doesn't just happen out of the blue. It's practically guaranteed the moment the boundary between one child's world and another's starts to break down. And get this breakdown isn't chaotic. It follows a very specific, identifiable pattern. And once you can see the map of this miscommunication, you can pinpoint exactly where things went off the rails. So here it is, the X that marks the spot on our map. The root cause of pretty much every single conflict is when one kid tries to use their inner thoughts to control another kid's outer actions, or they use their outer actions to try and control another kid's inner feelings. It's a total boundary violation, and that's where the trouble starts. And this diagram, Polsky's diamond, it lays out the whole system for us. Now, I know there's a lot going on here, stuff about social roles like leaders and scapegoats, but for our purposes, we're just going to focus on the core communication patterns. See the interactions at the top? Those are the unhealthy crisscrossing patterns that lead to fights. And the ones at the bottom? Those are the healthy parallel patterns we actually want to encourage. So let's break those down. The first unhealthy pattern is called dominance. You can think of it as inner over outer. This happens when one child's internal thought is basically used to control another's external action. So imagine Mary says, "Hey, I think we should go to the park." Her inner idea is being presented as a command for a shared outer action. She's crossing the streams. And what happens when that dominance is resisted? Well, it often escalates to the pattern of violence. The formula flips to outer over inner. This is a flat-out external command to crush another person's internal will. So Mary now says, "We are going to the park whether you want to or not." It's a direct power play, a real attempt to control someone else's feelings from the outside. So, what's the healthy way to do this? It's all about dialogue. This is where communication stays in its own lane. Inner to inner would be Mary saying, I want to go to the park. What do you want to do? See, it's just a comparison of their internal feelings. And outer to outer is a negotiation of actions. Hey, if you come to the park with me, I'll go swimming with you later. No boundaries are crossed, everybody's world is respected. Okay, that's some great theory. We can now diagnose the pattern behind the problem. But how do we actually fix it in the moment? Well, this framework isn't just theory. It actually builds directly into a super practical toolkit for adults. So the toolkit organizes behavior into those 3 levels we just talked about. At the bottom, you've got your healthy dialogue. Then in the middle, you have that out-of-balance dominance. And at the very top, unhealthy violence. The whole point is that your intervention needs to match the level of the behavior you're seeing.
And here it is, the guide itself. It's actually pretty brilliant. Look at how it's set up. On the left, you've got the health level, going from healthy all the way down to unhealthy. And then across the top, you've got how often it's happening. Is it a one-off thing or a consistent pattern? So let's walk through an example. Say you notice some out-of-balance behavior, right? A kid who's always trying to control the game. You just find that row. If it's just a one-time thing, the guide says, hey, just make a note of it, journal it. But if it starts becoming a tendency, okay, now we escalate to a conference. And if it's a full-blown recurring pattern, that's when you look at a development plan. The key thing here is that the response always fits the problem. It's proportional.
Now, this is a really crucial point. The interventions are cumulative, they stack. So if you're at the development plan stage for a pattern of dominance, you don't just do that one thing. Your response also includes the lower levels. You keep holding conferences, and you keep journaling and reporting what you see. It's a layered approach, not a one-and-done fix. So what's the end game in all of this? I mean, it's not just about stopping fights, right? The source material frames the ultimate goal as helping children achieve something really beautiful called soul parallelism. And soul parallelism is basically that magic moment when children can connect productively because they are finally in the same world together. Remember those states of playing and working we talked about? That's what this is. It's when they can communicate without crossing those inner and outer boundaries, creating genuine connection instead of just more conflict. By seeing these patterns beneath all the chaos, we can do so much more than just manage behavior. We can actually give kids the tools they need to build resilient, meaningful relationships. So the real question is, are you ready to see the system in the squabble and turn those moments of conflict into opportunities for real connection?